Today I'm building this TikTok tutorial house in Bloxburg. So I did this a few weeks ago and you guys seem to love it. And look at the house I've chosen today. It's glorious. It's given us a floor plan for downstairs and upstairs, an outside view. And we already have bills, guys. I got bills! So of course I've already done the downstairs floor plan. This actually took so long to decipher. So it's very, very easy for the downstairs. We're just gonna dab the floors in. Oh my gosh, who remembers when dabbing was the thing? Those were actually the good days, to be fair. And then this is so hard. I think it goes like this.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
There we go. I think that is what the outside looks like. Ooh! Guys, just notice how this looks immediately 100 times better than any build I normally do. You guys like to say I'm good at floor plans, but truly there is a lot of people better than me, clearly. Then I'll just do a little click. I'm actually just going to put the TikTok floor plans on screen, mainly because it makes the editing so much easier. So there we go. That is what we're doing. And wow, this looks like a maze. So if we go back to their gorgeous cinematic pan of the outside, we have now got to sort of work out for ourselves where the roofs are going to go. So I'm thankful that they at least gave us this shot, but I'm still very confused.
So I am confusion.
And all the comments on this video were like, "Gal, what is this roof? It's so complicated." And I'm actually going to go to comments. This girl says, hip roof, next line, the whole thing, but that makes less sense than the video. Okay, so apparently it's actually a hip roof up here, which I've never used. I don't think I've ever used a hip roof. So immediately, this is going to be so different for us. Okay, right, that's our hip roof in. So then I believe it's kind of like this. This is what?
2,000 years later.
And there we go. Okay, guys, let's do a little comparison. I think these actually look pretty similar. And if one singular comment comes from my roof, I am just gonna scream because that took me like 20 minutes. Now we're gonna be doing the coloring and stuff. And also, I kind of noticed they've got like an arch overhang here. That is such a cool thing. Like I've never ever done. And also credits to the guy who did it. I haven't shouted them out. _LoveTra. Beautiful house, by the way. Just very hard for noobs like me to rebuild. And I just looked at the comments and they said, these are cloudy grey. Sometimes the comments are really helpful and that definitely does match. Okay, guys, I've moved location in my house. I'm now in my bedroom, so I'm sat at like this tiny stool at my desk because my office Wi-Fi was just driving me crazy. And did you know you can search colors, guys? Yeah, it blurs everything else out. Now, this build is also quite old, so I don't know if the color wheel was in the game back then, but I am going to slightly adjust some of my colors to be lighter. And yeah, it's just going to give the build, oops, a little bit of texture this way. And also, I'm making sure to color the underside of the roof because if you are a Bloxburg player, you will know there is nothing worse than the glitching, overlapping roofs. Oh my gosh, this actually looks like it so far. Well, you'd hope so. And by the way, guys, I don't know if this video is actually going to come out on my birthday. Right now, it's Tuesday the 21st. No, my birthday's on the 24th. So happy birthday. Right, that has taken me far too long. Now let's decorate with like the pathway and stuff. It's basically just made of tiles and they've used my style grass. Basically, it's where you actually physically make the two separate strands of grass. So you might be wondering, Reese's, why are you putting grass in the driveway, you crazy cat? Well, that's because obviously there's tiles going on top of there. And then the pathway, this is actually like the hardest bit. But I think it's probs something like this. And then we'll just go for concrete, to be honest. I'm guessing how they did these tiles was maxed them out. And then I guess just placed them normally. Oh yeah, that's working an absolute treat. This is going to be such a bougie house. Normally I delete my houses, but because I've actually had a little bit of money lately, I might keep this one because it's going to look really nice, I reckon. Although these are 107 bucks each.
30,000.
And do you know what this is kind of giving me, guys? It's kind of giving like starter house, kind of like the catalog actually. Now we can't really see the front, but I'm guessing a house like this luxurious is defo gonna have not a fence, a fence gate rather, and quite a fancy one as well. Oh, that one don't fit. Maybe this one. Oh yeah, babes. That is so luxurious. And then I actually think I'm gonna get rid of these because they've used roll up these, the compact bushes, and it looks like they've maxed them out into like the mutant version one. Oh my gosh, they're so big.
That's quite big.
And we're not going to put it in any particular order. It can just sort of be a little bit rogue. And this is what I hate about following tutorials. It makes me feel like such a bad builder. Because on a day-to-day basis, I think I can make a pretty good house. But then I see like this. This looks so good already. And it's none of my idea. And I'm sorry, I'm going to have to unzip my jacket. It's so hot in England. I'm having hot flushes, guys. Oh, and also there's like some rough cypresses. Again, I would probably never normally use these trees. And behold, probably the most detailed exterior I've ever even done. I do want this to feel a little bit like Reese's. So for as long as I can remember, I've loved picnic. So I was thinking we could have one of them. And also, I never use any of like the swing sets in my inventory. There we go. Let's actually get started on the windows now. Typical Reese's video. Half an hour in and ain't even started on the windows. Garage door number 1 goes there. And then if we replay that film, oh my gosh, they have like another smaller one there. That is an ingenious idea. These windows over here appear to be factory ones to me, which I'm more than happy to add. And then the curved window here, I'm sure this is what probably drew us all in. And interestingly, they've actually used the villa door, as I like to call it. Oh no, they've used a traditional one. I'm blind.
Are you blind?
So with a couple of lanterns, that is the entire exterior done. Well, the front. I love my new house. Thanks for watching, guys. No, of course, I'm joking. This is just the first step. We're, of course, going to decorate the inside, although they didn't really show the inside, so that's going to be more of my own skills. Let's go inside. I'm so excited. And I am actually going to have to refer back to my picture now because I've forgotten. I've got a short-term memory loss. Okay, so they haven't actually done the inside. That's unusual, but also kind of refreshing. So the garage kind of has this floor, and then the rest appears to all have brown floor, although I might make it a bit brighter. And then, oh my gosh, prepare for it to go mental chicken oriental in this corner. Oh, and guys, 3 guesses what I'm going to do for the kitchen floor. We all know me far too well by now. And for the walls, I think I'm just going to go for a sort of light stone gray everywhere, or cream. My mouse is so loud. I'm so sorry. And then they've put the stairs in the most rogue place ever. They really just said, didn't they? Bosh. Although I probably should put this right, actually. Otherwise, it's going to mess up upstairs. So, guys, welcome to my house. I am going to use a panel door. And then we'll probably have some of these and some of these. You know, I do love some of these as well. And I actually really am digging this cloudy grey, like dark taupe sort of colour. And just to recap everyone again, this is what the downstairs floor plan is going to be. So, with all that faffing about out the way, let's start straight away with the kitchen. And I immediately need to be going in and getting out the rustic islands. The oven is, of course, going in here. The fridge is getting nudged in here. And I'm actually going to use the Arctic fridge. And in here, I'm not going to use my bowl sink, guys. I'm normally obsessed with this little sink here.
I'm upset.
But I think it's time to move on from that phase. Well, for now anyway. I'm going to use a commercial sink. Love it. And since this is very much like a very aesthetic house, I'm going to try and make it very detailed as well with like my Khloe Kardashian style pantry jars.
Amazing.
This is organized.
You can also have some milk out on the side and stuff. Also maybe some cheese grater. I don't know if you want cheese something. A chopping board or cutting board. And then any rack of this, rack that. And I picked this custom marble backdrop. What do you mean? Are we going to have a shingle kitchen, guys? I don't hate it. I think it looks like some sort of like bougie kind of wood. I'm normally one of those people who pet peeves when people use concrete as like a texture. Guys, I might be being a hypocrite today. This is one of my favorite kitchens I've ever done. I think to finish it off, we should add not only some LEDs, we're gonna add a little island bench in the middle, but not your typical island. I sometimes use my rustic console tables, and you can really sort of sell the look of this by what you put on here. I normally recommend some pots and pans, as if we're Gordon Ramsay cooking up a goddamn storm. And I love how on the outside we added so much detail, even within like the lights and stuff. So we can just copy and paste that all inside now. And then since I'm putting the roof in, that's technically the upstairs floor. Look, the living room is 2 stories. We have to go and do that next. You guys know I'm a sucker for a 2-story room. But this kitchen is truly everything I ever wanted. I cannot wait to look at that in the tour. We're going straight over to the living room, which, as I said, is most definitely 2 stories. It's very thin. Like, am I Slender Man now? Do I have to go on a diet to fit in here? So we'll add an extra wall here. And then what fence shall we have? I feel like this is definitely a traditional suburban home. So we'll...
I went so deep there.
So we'll do a railing like that and some traditional beams because I'm going to be a traditional kind of mom. Why is it so wonky all the time? Since it's a true Reese's style build though, I would always have a chandelier in my 2-story rooms. So we're of course going to carry on that theme today. And this wall here is just screeching. Put a double window. I'm going to, don't you worry. But first things first, we're going to have the bottom lined with these. Is this or is this not the most superior house you've ever seen? We're then going to use these traditional pillars on the side, but I'm not going to make them fat like I normally do. So what I meant by double windows is essentially just 2-story windows.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that.
And we've got to leave a big gap in the middle because there actually is a fireplace there. And then I would have liked to have this big one at the top. We're going to have to really thin her out first. Oh my gosh. This is such a nice lounge room. This is like the room of the house where if you're like having a party or something, you're going to bring all your guests here because it's like just such a flex. So now we need to decide actually what's going in here. Shall we do some mid-century sofa? Oh yeah, that definitely matches the best. And actually they put it in chairs, didn't they? The lounge chair. That's so aesthetic. And I would have loved to have a piano in here. Do we have room?
Denied.
No! Although we do have such a big hallway, we can probably have a piano like literally there. I have been quite liking the green lately, but even this shade is called grime. So we'll have a little bit of green, but not too much because it kind of makes me sick. And a coffee table all the way from New York. I mean, the mid-century one probably does match the best. And you might be thinking, Reese's, you're definitely going to go and add 2-story custom plants in here, aren't you? Aren't you? No, honeys, I'm sorry. I've kind of gone over a lot of my phases in Bloxburg. I'm sorry.
In your honor, I'm sorry.
Now, just behind this, a lot of fancy kind of houses actually will have tables behind big sofas. And this actually got to be quite an important looking table because it's probably going to be copy and pasted a lot, knowing me. There we go. That is absolutely beautiful. And of course, we'll change that. Is that total Roblox drama down there? We'll find some other things to put in these corners, e.g. a corner shelf. And I found out, I saw like this thing on Instagram the other day. Did you know e.g. means, for example, and i.e. means in other words? I've been saying it wrong all my life. And we'll just add like 4 paintings in sort of like this bougie pattern. But there we go. That is that room done. So next up is going to be the hallways because people actually underestimate the importance of hallways. Like they are some of my favorite parts of houses. And since we've already kind of set the bar with these pillars, we should probably be using them everywhere now. Of course, we've already stated that this piano is going here. I think we could do with a carpet and I'm going to do one of those carpets, guys. If you didn't know, you don't know. Go mental, chicken oriental. These corner shelves also have been working well, so we can have a couple of these around. What does kind of make sense is having like a corner sofa here. So we can actually move this garage door up and then maybe I guess we should put it like nooked in the, I was going to say nooked in the cranny. That sounds very, very wrong. Yeah, we'll wrap up the rest of this with some chandeliers and carpets and stuff. And here we go. So basically, as you walk into the left, you sort of have the first lounge room. Now, this is actually very popular in American style houses. All we really have left of the downstairs is our little breakfast room, our garage, and then our little office. I don't think I'm going to do upstairs now. I've already been filming for about 2 hours, so this video would be like 10 hours long. The easy part over here is going to be our breakfast area. Now, at first, I was wondering if I should just do a simple breakfast table, but then I thought, why be basic?
You're basic.
So instead, I'm going to do a booth system. Now, I'm very much hoping that the sectional sofas sort of are going to work for me here. It worked, it worked, it worked. That's the breakfast area done, very beautiful. I don't really know what this part is meant to be, so I'm gonna leave it blank because if you guys want, I'll continue this next video, but what do you put in here? Like the garage is next, which is gonna be comprised of the exterior colors. I'm very much so a fan of the indoor-outdoor kind of loop. Now, I don't actually have a garage on my house. We used to have it as a garage, but then we turned it into a different room. But what I do remember is we mainly just have cardboard boxes on shelves in the back, and I actually used to love going and sitting in the garage and like playing card games. So finally then we've got my office, which I actually think I'm once again going to replicate this brown wood in. I want 2 sort of like full length windows at the back and then maybe a bookshelf. I love that. There's something about French glass that just does things to me. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I've given myself one bougie office chair. Like, look at her. Then we'll do a computer and a desk organizer. That's like the most American style thing ever. It looks like you're doing like FBI cases in here or something. And maybe make like a mini bar in the corner. And we can put like the mini beverage fridge down here. And with that, guys, building a TikTok house is finished in brackets for today. So here we are outside of it. And I think we need to do a comparison. And oh my gosh, I think I did an amazing job here. So of course I added like the swing set and things and like colored the car my own color in the garage. But at the end of the day, we are all allowed our own creative license with the build. But the value is, oh my gosh, only 400 grand with 3 cars as well. That is actually a bargain price too. So the first thing we have here is the garage. Open up, open up. And inside here is obviously our cars. We get a sneak peek to sort of what the inside's gonna look like. As we move over here, I love this pathway. It's like the perfect contrast of villa and family home. And I just love the exterior. Thank you so much to the guy who built it again. It's amazing. But as we go through the front door, oh my gosh, this actually is so different to anything I've built before. We're first of all greeted with what I like to call the entryway. Very basic room. And this, if you're wondering, leads through to the garage, which is kind of cool, I think so. Now, I don't know what to put here. I feel like we could do like a custom thing for the stairs. We also have the breakfast area over here. Now, as I'm looking around, I'm noticing this is actually very, very bland. Like, Jesus, what was I doing towards the end? The kitchen, which I built at the beginning, is stunning. And you've got to admit, like, cue the cooking music. I should be here with my sponge, cooking up sponge cake. I am obsessed. Even like the concrete, I don't normally like it on appliances. I think it's quite unrealistic, but it actually looks good today. And there's a hole in my roof. What is that? I don't even know. But as we go over here, this has got to be one of my favorite parts of the house, like the open living, the open corridor, and of course the actual open living room. Like, this is definitely my favorite room, and especially when you look up and stuff like that. Over here is like way to the garage again and stuff. And finally, we have the office. So this is probably where we sit to work, to make the money for this massive house. So hopefully all of you guys enjoyed watching me build the TikTok house. Let me know in the comments if you want a part 2. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.